Hello, dear friends. Welcome to our full moon ceremony tonight. Tonight, we're celebrating the sun in the sign of Pisces and the moon in its opposite sign, Virgo. And there's a lot to cover tonight with the full moon energy, the total lunar eclipse happening tomorrow morning at 3:38 a.m., and the spring equinox happening on March 20th. By the way, did you know that the energetic effect of meditating at the time of the full moon is like meditating every day of the month? 10 people meditating together is energetically equal to 100 people meditating on their own. This is why we gather each month at the time of the full moon. Our power as a group is exponentially increased 100 times. So let's begin our talk with the lunar eclipse. This quote is from the astrologer Janet Kane. Quote, "In ancient times, eclipses were seen as powerful omens. The saying, 'the mighty will fall,' originates from cultures like Assyria and Babylonia, where eclipses, particularly lunar ones, were believed to foretell the death or downfall of a king. To protect the true monarch, these societies would enact the elaborate substitute king ritual. A commoner or a prisoner would be crowned temporarily to absorb the negative fate, while the actual king went into hiding for purification. Symbolically, lunar eclipses often represent both endings and beginnings, deaths and births, literal or metaphorical. Their energetic impact can last up to 6 months and may be felt as early as a month before the eclipse itself. Though dramatic, the effects are not inherently negative, unless perhaps you're a king. They offer an opportunity to break free from unconscious habits and social conditioning that block self-realization. On a personal level, lunar eclipses can bring suppressed memories and emotions to the surface. They illuminate our inner landscape, making us more aware of unconscious motivations or unresolved patterns. Projects or relationships that have reached their limit may naturally come to an end. Lunar eclipses, in particular, can signal the completion of something that you've been building toward. A lunar eclipse marks a time of culmination, emotional release, and heightened insight. It often brings hidden matters to light, offering a chance to release what no longer serves and usher in transformation. With the Virgo Pisces axis activated, we are invited to reconcile the rational with the intuitive, the detail-oriented with the dreamy. During this eclipse, we are called to balance these polarities, the mystical and the mundane, the emotional and the efficient. It's a moment to integrate opposites, finding wholeness in the tension between spiritual longing and grounded responsibility." End quote. Not an easy task for sure, but that is what we are called to do this month. Let's move on now to some words about the spring equinox. The spring equinox is where the Earth's equator is aligned with the sun. Because of this, the Earth's magnetic field is reduced. And what that means for us is that it is easier to access the higher dimensions. It's a cosmic gateway into the higher realms. In the nature kingdom, the equinox is where the devas transfer energy to the nature spirits. The devas hold the blueprint for our next cycle. And at the equinox, they shift the energy to the nature spirits, whose job it is to fuse and maintain that energy within the form. At equinox times, we can align with the nature spirits to assist in this transfer of energy. We can lend our support and our intention. We can also align with our own cycle. We can call in the energy of action that has come out of the winter cycle of hibernation and inactivity. What is wanting to be acted upon in your life? What is wanting to be given form? The day of the equinox, you might want to go outside and stand on the earth in your bare feet and meditate on that. Tonight, I'd like to take you on an evolutionary journey from the esoteric perspective as a way of segueing into the sign of Pisces. There's an assumption here of a belief in reincarnation. If you don't believe, you might look at this as an interesting myth or theory. But from the esoteric perspective, when the soul incarnates into a human body, it does so with the intention of experiencing physical reality. It wants the experience of physical life so it can learn. Also, its ultimate intention is to be able to express its divinity fully through a physical body. The soul wants to join with the human being and eventually infuse the human with its qualities, so the human can become a beautiful expression of the union of spirit and matter, the divine and the physical. Jesus was a perfect example of this divine man, human. So the soul descends into matter, which is a birth to the soul. It's a sacrifice, a death of sorts, because it must become smaller to be born into a form that limits it. For thousands of lifetimes, the physical being, called the ego or the personality, is in charge, so to speak. It leads or rules. The soul is not very active at this time. This is called the involutionary journey, moving downward into matter. The soul becomes immersed in matter. In form, it descends into matter. For many lifetimes, it continues its journey deeper and deeper into the density of the physical plane. At some point, it has gone as deeply as it can. It is totally identified with the material world. What does this look like to the personality? The personality feels like this is all it is. There's nothing outside this personality. The personality sees nothing greater than itself in the world. But at some point, there's an awakening, usually after many lifetimes of pain and suffering. There's a brief encounter with the energy of the soul. The personality becomes aware that there is something greater than itself operating in the universe. This is sometimes called the conversion experience. Now that the personality has become aware of some divine reality, the soul can begin to exert more of an influence upon the personality. This begins the evolutionary journey. The soul, over many lifetimes, begins to slowly infuse the personality with its higher ideals, its larger perspective, It begins to express itself through the personality. It is striving to totally infuse the personality. So the personality, or the ego, becomes a servant of the soul. When this infusion is complete, it is called being enlightened, or being a master like the Jesus or Buddha. It's a painful process. The ego does not want to give up control. So we struggle and experience the pain of surrender. But once this union occurs, the union of spirit with matter, we are at home in the source of our being. This mystical union is what Pisces senses deep within, what he longs for when he can imagine. Maybe Pisces even has brief glimpses of it in his or her life. This is the journey we are all on, this return home to our source. This month, we will be helped by the Piscean energy to become more sensitive to the promptings of our soul. We can hold that mystical vision of union in our hearts and minds and consciously open ourselves to our soul's guidance. Let us move toward a more conscious awareness of our evolutionary journey upward and resist the tendencies of our well-entrenched personalities to draw us down into the denser parts of our being. Let us choose the soul this month. My astrologer friend Heidi Robbins says this about the Pisces energy, quote, Pisces asks, what is it to feel beyond yourself without limit? What is it to surrender and breathe and know you are already immense? And all the striving in the world will not change the essential substance of who you already are. Pisces asks you to surrender to the grace that is forever moving in your life, but rarely noticed. Pisces asks for trust and the willingness to consider that we are not alone, but intricately woven into and through one another's lives. It asks us to reframe the word lonely and think of ourselves as profoundly connected, but perhaps momentarily in solitude. Pisces yearns for the truest kinds of sanctuary, where we are dancing with the greatness that is all about us, connected to the source and replenished by the beauty of this connection. Pisces is poetry and music and wordlessness. Pisces is time out of time. Pisces is retreat. Use this month for inspiration, imagination, flow, self-compassion, or radical self-care. Use this time to be gentle. Use this time to dream. Use this time to love yourself and everyone else you can, without effort or should. End quote. I think that's beautifully expressed. One other thing about Pisces, it is the 12th sign of the zodiac, the last sign before we start a new zodiacal year. That means it's a sign of culmination, of synthesis. We are being asked to tie up loose ends, to finish our unfinished business, and to integrate all the learnings that we have been exposed to this year. Each sign of the zodiac has presented us with energies to work with. How well have we integrated these energies into our being? In Pisces, we are asked to leave behind whatever we do not wish to carry into the next cycle. So we surrender, we let go, we leave behind any obstacles that might be in the way of that greater union with our higher self. Now I'd like to share with you a poem by Sapphire Rose called She Let Go. She let go without a thought or a word. She let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons, wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry. She just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. That would be my way. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her daytimer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. Take that in for a moment before we move on. What would that mean to you to let go to that degree? How would your life be different? I can feel my body relax just by saying those words. All right, moving on. People born with strong Pisces energy in their charts often live in a visionary dream world that doesn't always include the reality of life as it is. Because they seek the highest in all things, they don't easily face sober reality. This is where Pisces opposite sign Virgo can become helpful. Virgo is a good antidote to the possible excesses of Pisces. She brings in the earth element that can ground and manifest the vision of Pisces. This polarity is all about the union of the head and the heart. Virgo is earth. She analyzes and discerns, while Pisces dreams and feels. Virgo can get stuck obsessing about her own personal journey, while Pisces looks to the greater picture of wholeness and oneness with all life. Virgo wants to study, to learn, to take things in a logical order, while Pisces trusts her intuition above any mental agenda. Virgo's primary spiritual lesson is discernment. When it's not operating at its highest, it can sink into judgment and be self-deprecating. It's easy at this level to label things as right and wrong or good and bad. And this is a separating energy. It can close the heart and become defensive and shut down. When the higher octave of Pisces is invoked, she brings a broader perspective. She can see that we are all at various stages of evolving. She doesn't judge. but acknowledges that everyone is worth love and respect. But Pisces also has her shadow side. She has a hard time with boundaries and can be prone to addiction. So here, the Virgo energy of discernment and focus can be helpful. When these energies are balanced, we are able to discern without sinking into judgment. We are able to serve others without sacrificing ourselves. We love and value ourselves as much as we love all of creation. The clarity of the mind can join with the wisdom of the heart. Let us prepare now for our visualization. In this visualization, I will be asking you several questions, and I will give you a few minutes to ponder each question before we move on to the next one. So please make sure you are in a quiet place where there are no distractions and you will not be disturbed. Seat yourself comfortably with your spine relatively erect or lying down, and begin to quiet yourself inwardly by focusing on the evenness of your breathing. As you watch your breath, notice how your body moves into a state of inner poise and peace, and into a state of readiness. The body relaxed, the mind alert. From this place of inner peace, silently chant the sacred word, the Om, to affirm this inner poise and alignment. Put your attention now on the heart chakra. This is the seat of loving energy in your body. Breathe the color indigo blue into your heart center. This is the color of Pisces. See this Piscean energy as Christ-like love, and imagine this unconditional love of the Christ filling your heart space. See yourself now enveloped within a field of love, a field of oneness where there is no separation. Feel that sense of oneness enter you as you inhale. And on the exhalation, notice that loving oneness radiating outward into your environment. Silently now, chant the sacred word, the Om, again, in honor of love. Now place your attention on the head center, where the energy of the mind resides. The Virgo energy of discernment lives here. Breathe into the head center that quality of discernment that allows you to clearly see the true from the false, the self and all that is not your true self. See if you can feel that energy of focus, clarity, and discernment pouring into the mental body. Feel the strength that this brings into your body. Use your will now to seize that strength and make it your own. Now breathe a silent Om in reverence to the discerning mind. Finally, now, imagine those energies coming together and coalescing within you. What would it feel like to embody a discerning heart? What would it feel like to embody a focused, purposeful love? Now imagine taking those united energies and expressing them out into the world. Could you walk through your day noticing, being aware of differences, and yet not judging? Could you be aware in your daily life of the underlying oneness that connects us all, while still acknowledging the individual and their humanness? What would it feel like to embody loving discernment? This month, let us commit to being mindful of the disparate parts of ourselves and of others, and yet not lose sight of our loving essence, that which binds us together. Let us do what we can to love intelligently. I'd like to close now with this invocation to the great ones, keeping in mind the situation with Iran and the US and the Middle East. This was an invocation given out in 1940 by the Tibetan master Dwal Kul. Let the lords of liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to all of humanity. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming, save. Come forth, O mighty one. Let the souls of humanity awaken to the light, and may they stand with masked intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O mighty one. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O Mighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O Mighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. Om. 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 Namaste, my friends. Be safe.